Like the crazy thing is like there's a little bit of a delay, so it's like 10 seconds or so.
Oh, cool. There's a delay and everything.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I got the captions up.
Looking at.
All right, we're rolling. We're rolling.
Getting out with the feet.
He's chilling. He's ready.
No, he's got this thing. He put his feet like in my hands. So me holding the phone, he's like trying to put his feet to the phone.
Bro's ready for the show business.
Man, it's so nonchalant with it too. Like I know you see me, but you know this that I'm not looking at you.
I know I'm the main attraction here for real. All right, people are starting to funnel in now. We got about 3 people in here. And we're on TikTok too. We look pretty bueno.
Never seen. I'm still not on TikTok.
One day.
Maybe when he gets old enough and he's like, I want a TikTok. I'm like, no. Parental guidance first. I don't know how TikTok is, but I'd be worried about like YouTube because YouTube, unless you have YouTube Kids, there's no like restrictions.
YouTube
It'll go from just regular YouTube. Like you watch videos, go from 0 to 100 real quick.
Some of those kid creators are even worse.
Man, and it's all like it's all a little skit to get you to buy more toys and all that good stuff. It's like, leave me and my money alone.
Everybody who's in, welcome. We got myself and Zach today. We're gonna start. We're gonna do an official introduction in about 2 minutes or so. We're kind of waiting for that 5-minute mark to get some viewers in here. We're 8 strong right now, so I thank you for coming on here and thank you for spending time on your busy Saturdays. Come and listen to us chop it up for a bit. I got sounds and shit too. It's gonna be
I like it. It's
gonna be a fun time, man. My favorite one right here. Never gonna be able to use it. There's all kind of shit. There's a bird one I can never find.
That's a good one.
The one. Never gonna be able to be used, but fuck it.
I was gonna say unless you get like an owl.
All right, got it a little bit more. We're starting about 30 seconds or so. Official introductions will happen then. Welcome if you're just joining in. Thank you again for taking time out of your day.
Especially on a Saturday.
Hell yeah.
Your hand tastes good. That's what's up.
All right, here we go. All right, everybody. Welcome to the Talk to Me Brother podcast. Today, we got myself, Mark Rivera, and I'm also going to let Zach give a brief introduction of himself.
Zach Kinsella, some of you know me. Some of you will get to know me tonight. So pleasure to be here.
Definitely, Zach is a young and very new father. As you can see, we got a third guest on who's shall renamed unnamed, a little beautiful chunky boy right there. Zach, tell me, man, what's father?
Man, honestly, it's fun. You know, it surprises, but some new surprises. You know, I'm blessed to have great fathers surround me, and so I've had a lot of practice being around them, and especially having a boy, it kind of fell right into place and felt right at home. So nothing but joy, but still a new surprise every day, and kind of like a hit it.
What are some of the things you're looking forward to as a father? I know some of this stuff can kind of come as a surprise, but like, what are some of the things you're looking forward to? I think we lost Zach for a little bit. He's gonna hop right back in though. We'll get that. We'll get his response briefly. Get him on here. Here we go. Here we go. My man's back.
Don't ask me what happened. I'm gonna say you kicked me.
We'll run with that. We'll run with that. No, I was kind of piggybacking. What are some of the things you're looking forward to from fatherhood?
Dude, honestly, just every day. You know, I get lucky when I wake up in the morning and go to work. He's usually up with me, kind of get a little smile and like, all right, Dad, I'll see you later. Same thing when I get home. But, you know, sometimes he's taking a nap and whatnot. But for the most part, he's an energetic little demon. But, you know, it's just the milestones, man. Every day's a new milestone. Still waiting for him to like fully crawl 100%. Then, you know, it's just like, it's a new fatherhood stuff. I'm waiting for the first steps and the first run-in steps and the first catch with the football and things like that, you know, all the good stuff.
And you kind of spoke on it as well, like what it's like to have good fathers around you. What Explain to me what's a good father in your opinion?
Man, present, number one. You know what I mean? And someone who wants to be there. You know, you shouldn't be forced or feeling forced to want to be there. You know what I mean? It's a lot of like self-stress. Like me personally, you know what I mean? I try to get home as fast as I can because it's like, no, I don't want to work the extra hours, man. I want to get home and spend the time with my kid. I don't want to miss those moments. But you know what I mean? It's the little stuff, man. Going places, like how many times I've seen my friends at call it a pool party, but you know what I mean? Like we're still bringing the kids because guess what? Kids can swim too and they can have fun.
Yeah,
So
that's a really big thing. Parents who still like want to go out and kind of like live the party lifestyle and do things that don't include their kids anymore. Um, but I'm happy you're taking a different direction. I'm happy you're finding your own lane to it and being active and staying as active as possible in your child's life. So shout out to you, man. So now that we got to know Zach a bit, we got to know what kind of drives him and gets him going daily. And shout out to you, Zach. Shout out to you for being present in that little boy's life and you getting up daily and making it happen for not only him but your whole family. So shout out to you,
yeah,
man.
thank you, brother.
All right, guys. We touched on this this past week on what this official first episode is kind of going to hold, kind of what we're going to touch on, and it's time to get into a little bit more detail. It's time to get a little bit more in depth with it. This week um, is a week surrounding mental health. I've spent this past week studying and kind of reading up on men's mental health resources in Chicago. So I want to give you guys kind of an accessible guide, give you kind of insights to what's out there and what's available for almost absolutely free. Majority of the resources that we'll be providing today, um, they're kind of built around stress, anxiety, depression, and things like that. Kind of those scarier things we really don't get to talk about. So the resources that I will be going in depth about It may seem kind of repetitive at times. It may seem kind of like okay, but it's necessary because why? These are free programs. These are things that are out there, and these are things that are readily available. So I'm pretty excited, man. I'm pretty excited that there was so many that are free. There was so many that are so available. You know. So again, everything that we do on here is going to be as organic, as natural as possible. So everything you get from us today, whether it's myself or whether it's Zach, is going to be spontaneous. You know, this everything. This is live for a reason. We want our responses to be as natural and as from the heart as possible. So, Zach, you got anything?
100%. No, man, I'm with you 100%. Nothing good with nothing wrong with a friendly reminder. You know what I mean? Like you said, kind of something might be repetitive, but if it's positive, there's nothing wrong with a good reminder.
For sure, definitely. And some of these resources are catered to different ethnic groups specifically. There's Black and Hispanic resources available for those communities as well as programs that accept all ethnic groups and backgrounds. So if you feel like you can speak to a different ethnic group more than you can speak to others, maybe that resource will be for you. So again, as we drive into our first segment called the why, is there's a lot that goes into this. There's a lot that goes into waking up every day. There's a lot that goes into um, being a father. There's a lot that goes into being a man, um, and to find peace within that, and to find solace and things like that. It is very rare. It's very rare that you could wake up and not feel pressure. It's very rare that you could wake up and not feel that you're enough. You know, would you agree, Zach?
Yeah, 100%. Especially the days that you don't want to, but you get reminded why you have to. So,
So, and on those days when you feel like you're not enough, and those days where you need that reminder, there's that's what this is for. You know, this is kind of that reminder. This is kind of that reminder that hey, you're not alone. And hey, you got people who are here for you. You got people who are advocating for you. You got people here that want you to do better. And
everyone has bad days.
100%.
They're bound to come in. It's just part of the cycle, man. You could have 99 good days, 80 of them being great days, but that 100th day could just be a shit day.
And again, like when I come across, I'm going to drop some statistics on you guys as well. When you come across something as frugal as this, I mean, just listen to this. Men account for approximately 78 to 80% of all suicides in the U.S. So that's 3 to 4 times higher than women. You know, and again, this isn't a comparison. This isn't a hate women game. This isn't there's none of that. You know, but this is just to show you, like, hey, that's a vast number. That's a large group. You know, and I mean, we go back to 2022. Nearly 40,000 men died from suicide in the U.S. And that was the year that we hit 80%, and that was the COVID year. If I'm not mistaken, you know, so when you think about things like hobbies and you think about things like as simple as going to see a movie, you know, or just a daily interaction from you and a stranger passing by, we didn't have those things back then. You know, we didn't have those things. We didn't have those small outlets. You know, and now that we're kind of back full strength and up and running, you know, hopefully we can get that number on a decline. You know, because 80% that's a large number. And again, we're 3.7 to 4% higher than the female rate. You know, That's huge. And again, like another statistic, only 17% of men in the U.S. have received mental health treatment or counseling. But think about that. I mean, that's not even
I mean, the first step is you got to acknowledge it.
100%. You have to acknowledge. You have to realize, like, hey, I may need some help. You know,
Well, you
and
know what? It's a lot of pressure. Like, you know it too. You know, it's a lot of pressure being, you know, quote unquote, like the man of the family. You feel like there's no one above you. You know what I mean? Like it all starts and ends with you. So, and I don't want to sound like you said, it's not a girls versus guys thing, but girls talk more, man. They get in their little groups, all that stuff, and they talk more. And I mean, I'm not saying guys don't talk, but we talk about bullshit. You know what I mean? A lot of the problems that we go through, I feel like we're the only one, and like all we got to do is just live with it and get through it.
100%. And that's something I spoke about as well. You know, like when men post that, hey, I'm not feeling good today, or hey, like I have this going on, I have this and this and that. You know, we're not exactly met with acceptance. You know, we're not exactly met with resources. You know, if a woman was to post that or do the opposite of that, they're they're giving comfort, they're giving multiple resources, they're giving people are flocking to them. You know, you get us under a post or you get us on a conversation like that, we end up just laughing the pain away. You know, joking our way out of a bad situation. And again, that's not a bad outlet, but again, it doesn't touch the initial problem. It doesn't touch you directly. You know, it may fix it temporarily and you may cause a brief distraction, but again, we're not touching down to the root of actually what went wrong there.
Exactly.
I'm not sure if you
And
agree with that.
no, I do. And I mean, it goes back to like, you think stereotypical wise, right? Like guys are tough. Guys are, you know, masculine. Like what's not masculine? Soft. Like it's okay to be in your feelings sometimes. You know what I mean? It's okay to let it go, man.
And again, like do you think that's directly related to the stigmas of being a man?
I guess it depends. You know, it's 2025 now, so I guess it depends on who you ask.
That's true, but I mean, look, I have some stigmas here, and you tell me if you still feel that way after I share some of these stigmas with you. You know,
Yeah,
um, the first stigma, number one, real men don't cry.
I don't agree with that, man.
100%. Because
Like I said, it's okay because you could have happy tears, you could have bad tears, and both both are better than bottling it up. And I'm a witness to it. I'm a, you know, example of it. But like you let something, doesn't matter how big it is, you let something keep it inside of you instead of, you know, there's ways to filter it out and whatnot, but you keep that inside and you bottle that up, it's going to be a lot worse when it finally does come out, and it's not good for anybody.
and then we run across, you know, like again, we suppress, we hold in, we keep it to ourselves because there's at times where we don't feel safe or we don't feel like we have an outlet. It's something that me and you touched on kind of before the podcast. You know, as an adult, you are blessed to still have your best friend. You know,
Hmm.
you're blessed to still have someone that you could reach out to, someone that you could talk to regularly. You know, a lot of men don't have that. So again, like for you and JD to stay as close as you were, and for you guys to keep as tight of a knit of a group as you guys have, shit, that's amazing because now you guys have that resource.
A lot of people don't know, man, like you touched on with the numbers, man. 2019, 2020, it was actually a tough time for me too. I was going through a lot of personal stuff. You know, outside world is great and whatnot, but that man's been my best friend for over 10 years personally. You know what I mean? But he definitely saved my life that year. You know, just by being there. You know, that's all you need sometimes is someone, and again, who wants to be there. So
And
you find someone like that, it's huge.
again, that shit is amazing. That is awesome that you guys have been able to remain friends and kind of keep that going for yourselves, you know. So we'll move on to the stigma number two. Asking for help is weak.
Also false, man. Our biggest problem is thinking that like we're, you know, kind of like you said on the last stigma, talking about like we go through something and we get heavy about it, but it's also because we think that we're the only ones that have gone through it. Like, oh man, this is some BS that I'm going through, and it's like no one else has gone through it. You don't know that. Talk to someone, man. Talk to someone you trust. Talk, you know what I mean? Have someone that you can just not feel judged that you're talking about your problems and you don't know what you're going to hear in response.
Again, and if you don't have that somebody, if you don't have someone you feel like you can speak to comfortably about your situation, you can always message me. Since I started this podcast, I've had a few people reach out to me, and I have had a few people just wanting to talk. And again, everything they tell me would never touch my lips again. Everything they told me was in complete confidence, and a lot of people have spoken to me on those terms. So for you people who have reached out to me, thank you for not for having the courage. Thank you for being able to overcome, you know, the stigmas that were preached to you, you know. Um, because again, like we're live on TikTok as well, and one of the comments is everyone judges though. Um, and that's true. There's a lot of judgment out there, both men and women. Um, and again, ignorance is bliss. You know, not having the full scope and understanding of someone's situation, and to pass judgment when that may be as positive or as negative as they've ever been. It may be their lowest, it may be their highest point. And you come in and kind of pass judgment, and it takes away from everything that they built, you know, and all that confidence. So again, as men, try to be sensitive to others. As men, try to be sensitive to the things that are shared with you. Try to be sensitive to not understanding the full scope of someone's life, you know, understanding the full scope of what's actually going on and what may have driven them to even speak to you in general.
Agreed.
All right, so we get to stigma number three. Men should always be providers. And in my opinion, this one right here is kind of it's like, hey, this is tough because again, we always tie our value to what we provide. We always tie our value to what we're able to give our families. You know, we always tie our value to what we can do versus what we can't do.
But that's a very like that's a touchy one because it's like provider in which way? You know what I mean? If for instance you make the most money out of two jobs and someone needs to stay home, that's great. Then you can be that provider. But also, if she makes more money and you need to stay at home and be a good father and a good uh, care for the home, then you're providing good home care. You know what I mean? So I think it goes both ways. You just need to, like I said earlier, just be present. And honestly, that there's a million different ways that you can be present, but as long as you're present, then the effort's there. You know what I mean? You still have some things to accomplish, and that's just adulthood, but the effort's there, and that's a start.
Oh, for sure. Definitely agree. And again, these stigmas are things that have been told to me. You know, these are
Yeah,
things that I've heard in not only my youth, but my adulthood too, as well, you know? And again, a lot of it is from our upbringings and the things that have been preached to us. And like
yeah,
this one right here, number four, as a man, you cannot tell me you haven't heard this one. You know, number four is man up or tough it off. You know,
yeah.
like even when like something as simple as is falling down and a tear sheds, you know, like, oh man up, you know, what are you crying about? Um, that's a bad one.
Man, I, man, you're preaching to the choir on that one. I know you know a little bit about my childhood. I had a really tough upbringing, military dad that wasn't even in the military. You know what I mean? So And I think I was just telling JD about this. Like, I used to have asthma as a kid, or a form of it. And, one day at football practice, my dad seen me taking my inhaler, and he was like, "Yeah, no son of mine's gonna have asthma." And smash my inhaler, and I had to fight through that. I had to fight through it, man.
No son of mine will breathe today. Like
Not everyone has the same upbringing. That's fine. That's cool. Like, you know what I mean? I'm still grateful for who I turned out to be, and I just had a good bad example growing up. Figure out someone who not to be, which is cool. But
a good bad example. That's amazing, because something I heard last week as well, that we're going to be touching on in a later episode is, will child you be safe with the adult that you became? So again, like that's going to
that's
be
huge.
something like that. When you really think about that, like, hey, like everything you hated as a child, every good bad example, like you said, did you become that? Did you surpass that? Did you become something safer for not only you but the people around you?
And I mean, don't get me wrong. We're all human. You know what I mean? You should be competent enough to understand that there's good and bad in people. There may be some bad in someone that more than there should be, but you can still pick out, like, you know what I mean? Like, I've still picked out good things from my childhood and whatnot. And don't get me wrong, I have an amazing mother, so I didn't have a horrible childhood, but just had a POS dad.
And again, like
It's
sometimes
life.
better, like like those circumstances and those situations kind of made us who we were. So again, like when men aren't present in their kids' lives, again, we're at a turnaround point, where we
Mhm.
have a group of men, and we have a lot of men who are now willing to stay and be as active as possible in their children's lives. And we have to capitalize on this, man, because like we're coming from a generation where it was the woman's responsibility to change diapers, the woman's responsibility to take baths, the woman's responsibility to cook and clean, etc., etc. And we're at a turning stone. We're at a point where now men are being better fathers. Men are changing diapers. Men are washing their children. Men are there.
Given pads.
Exactly. Things that were kind of put down as, that's a woman's responsibility. We are now at a turning stone where now we're active to the point where those are shared responsibilities, as they always should have been. Those responsibilities, like a child is a 50-50 thing. So again, we're at a point now where we're kind of taking on that responsibility and kind of taking on that. So again, kudos to the fathers out there, man. Kudos to kudos to everyone who is there when their children wake up every day. And again, if you're
100%.
people, if you're not there, you're making effort to see your child. Your child never has to look for you.
Like
That's
we said, it starts with, like, who wants to be there. You know what I
mhm.
mean? And like you said, with the, I mean, evolution of fathers. You know what I mean? It's like I told my girl all the time. I was like, before she had her son, I was like, I want to be there for the bads. I'm seeing stuff about how, like, bads, especially for a newborn, is huge on bonding. And I'm a bit, I don't know, man. I feel like I'm a different dad from my childhood. Like I said, it's a blessing, but, like, I tell her all the time, I'm like, our son is the way he is because of the first 9 months. We sat there and had a great relationship. You know how it is. You speak to a pregnant belly, that baby's gonna know your voice before they come out.
Yeah. And again, like even like something like that, like my son's music choice now, my daughter's music choice, like them in the car, they're experiencing I like to listen to and shit. Like that's how I know like they could truly grasp, they can truly understand.
Yeah.
And babies are experiencing a lot more than we think they are. Because there's
Me and my
no
son's two favorite songs are X Factor by Lauryn Hill and Georgia by Ray Charles.
like
Those will
like
get him every time.
like there's no reason my son likes 3 6 Mafia. Like there's like there's no reason for it. This it's clearly dated, but So
That's
half on
great.
his back, he's bobbing his head harder than we are, you know.
That's great. I love that.
So again, not to stray off topic here, but these are good things that we're going to be going in depth on in these next upcoming weeks. And again, when we have a guest who is a new father, it's hard to not touch on these things. So
Oh yeah, dude, I could talk about this all day long.
100%, these conversations just come so organically that it's like, hey, um, but we did go through some of the stigmas. We did go through um, some of some of the statistics and things like that. Now we're kind of going to get into those resources. We're going to kind of get into what's available out there. And again, I have this list in PDF form, and I have this list kind of in detail. So if you feel like you see something on this list, like, hey man, fuck, that's something I need. That's something that I may want. I can provide this list to you. Just send me a quick DM. If I'm not your friend, just let me know, like, hey, I sent you a message request and whatnot, or things like that. Um, so I'm about to go into a new screen here. So give me a second. All righty. I'm waiting. There's a slight delay on my camera, so I'm kind of waiting to see how it comes out these lives. All right. That does not look bad at all.
You got to get a shirt that's like a picture of you without a shirt on. So that way, come like wintertime and stuff like that, you can always be in character.
Man, yeah, you're right. You're right. There's definitely an interest in merch, and I'm definitely getting into it.
I love it.
All right. As we enter into this third segment, um, I'm kind of going to go through what is on the left side of the screen and kind of go into a brief explanation of where they're located at and kind of what services they offer. Um, so the first one listed here is CDPH mental health centers. Um, these are these centers are located in the Inglewood, Lawndale, North Park, Greater Grand area, and the Roseland area. So these are located all across Chicago. So they're kind of into all different demographics, all different areas, and things like that. This is actually something that is on the chicago.gov website. So you can find them on Twitter, you can find them on your phone. And some of the services they offer are free outpatient therapy, medication management, group therapy, healing arts and wellness programs. And again, these services are offered to you regardless of your ability to pay. So this is a service that is completely free for people with low or high incomes, and they do take donations as well. So if this is something that you want to donate to, this is something that you find interesting. Again, this is more of a traditional center. This is something that's backed by the city of Chicago, so it is something that has like federal funding and things like that. So again, moving on to number two. Number two is called Threshold, the living room. This center is purely by peers for peers. So again, very similar to what we are doing now on our platforms, something very similar to what we have going on now. So some of the services they offer here, oh, I'm sorry, my apologies. They're located at 4423 North Ravenwood Avenue, Chicago, Illinois. So this is kind of like the north side Lakeview area. Again, they are also online at thresholds.org. And then they also have programs and things like that. So some of the services that they offer at Thresholds are 24/7 peer led mental health center, crisis and de escalation, emotional support. They also do referrals and offer a safe place for you to decompress. So if you ever feel like, hey, this is just too much today, they have a hotline available as well. That number is 773-537-3601. Again, 773-537-3601. And that is Thresholds, quote unquote, the living room. So that again, that one is an awesome resource, very simple. Um, and again, you're not speaking to a professional; you're speaking to peers, just like myself and Zach. So this is not someone for judging you. This is not someone that has a professional opinion of you. These are simply people. These are people. These are other men, and women as well that you can speak to. So number three is kind of a favorite of mine. Number three is something that is different, unique, um, and this one is actually targeted at a specific demographic. So this one is for the African American community. So this one is called Coffee, Hip Hop, and Mental Health Night. So this is located at 1051 West Belmont. I don't have a specific night that they're doing this because this is a pop up. So the thing, all the information is like on their Facebook page and their websites and things like that because it is unique to different things. Because some of the programs they do offer are yoga, open nights, and they also have youth and wellness programs as well. So this one's extremely unique and again targeted at the specific demographic, that's a specific ethnic group. So again, the African American community, that's huge as well. Moving on to number four, this is called the Healing Heals Hours program. So they have many different locations throughout the city. And again, it is citywide, and this is another pop up. So this is also ran through the Chicago.gov website. A lot of these programs are based through the city or provided by the city. So some of the services they offer, again, um, this was on a separate page, but this is also targeted to a specific demographic. So this one is for Black and Brown men. Um, this one is culturally affirming individual therapy for Black and Brown men, trauma enforced stigma awareness support. So this is more of a professional based service seeking professional help for no cost. This is it. All right, moving on to Project Brotherhood. So this is located at the Woodlawn Health Center. So this is on 51st Street. They did not provide a specific address, but I would assume this is a larger complex. But I do have a phone number. Phone number here listed is 312-747-1020. Um, they offer social service groups exclusively for African American men, fatherhood, education, preventative health outreach. And the setting is described as a barbershop like setting. And again, this is another free service. The next one again is another targeted group. This one is targeted to American Indians. So if you're American Indian and this is something that interests you, this is another pop up service. So they are throughout the central Chicago area. Their website is long and I can't read it, but again, I have this PDF. So if you want to get into this PDF and kind of get these more information, um, the services that they do provide are peer-led talking circles for Native American / Indigenous men, and they also offer emotional wellness and culturally ground group settings at an absolute free of charge. Again, a lot of these resources are free of charge. So for you to take advantage of these things and kind of say, hey, there's not really an excuse here, you know. And if transportation is a problem for you, so I got two cars in my household. You let me know. We'll figure something out. We'll make a way for you to get there. And I may actually stay and experience it with you myself because, again, some of these services I may require as well. The next one is probably the largest. So it is a program called NAMI, NAMI, and this is a Chicago Supports Group. So programs that they offer here are free peer-led support groups for LGBTQ, for families, again, creative wellness programs, and there is a symptom management network. So there's a free test you can take here, kind of give you an insight to some of the symptoms you may experience or you may not know you're experiencing, because at the end of the day, like when we look at recognition into some of those things, we have to realize like, hey, we may use key phrases that we don't know. You know, like when people talk about like being depressed or burned out, we use something, I'm just tired. You know, we use that as an excuse. When we talk about masking anxiety or sadness, the I'm good, I'm okay, I'll be all right. Or when we just have stress that we're not properly processing or we're not identifying as stress, again, we just go with the I'm just blowing off steam. Or when we're in fear of being judged by our peers or judged by others, we kind of go with the no, I don't need help. You know, we put up these blinders for us, you know, and it's unfair for ourselves and it's unfair for the people around us that we're kind of bottling these things up and you know when we do have these resources, you know. So again, NAMI is the largest one, and I believe they're located at the UIC campus as well. So again, that is a free resource, and again, they are located throughout Chicago. The next one is the Chicago Support Mental Health Meetup. They located in the Dunning Public Library Community Room, and they also rotate throughout citywide venues. So again, their website is called meetup.com. Hopefully, it's a website that is taken care of and paid for. If not, you may end up on a non-desirable site. But again, that's for let's hope that that one's been taken care of. I don't want to get any guys in trouble. So again, that is meetup.com. And again, they offer monthly free peer-to-peer discussions, social support, and they have complimented occasional services. You can donate to them as well, but it's not required. The next one is called Heads Up Guys. This is a specific online platform where you can go on and you can take an actual informational test. And again, this is something where you can share how you're feeling with this kind of test program. And then some of the tools that they offer are free assessment tools for depression, stress, loneliness. They also offer recovery stories, self help modules, and mental health education tailored specifically for men. So again, this is probably the biggest one because this list kind of goes down into what I deem as importance, um, and I deem as like this is something that we should all do. So, JD, we're kind of going through the resource list now for men. I also have a PDF. If you'd want me to share it with you, I can share that with you later on.
What do you say?
He said, "Mark, what the fuck are you reading? I'm late. Sorry, I'm drunk. Go for it." So definitely go for it, TF. So again, that one was Heads Up Guys. That is a specific online platform, and the website is headsupguys.org. So again, that is a completely free tool, and this is something I think I'm gonna do tonight. I may actually take this free assessment and kind of go on there and scroll through there, and I'll be sharing my results for this on the next podcast, just to kind of motivate you guys to get out there and take it yourselves. Okay, so the 10th one is it's just called Men's Therapy. It's an Illinois men's self-assessment as well. So again, this is online, and this is also a state-run program. So you can go online again and take this anonymous screening test for depression and mental health, and it also offers you guidance and referrals based on your results. And this test is also completely free. So again, those last two or three resources again completely free, completely online based, and available, readily available.
Shit,
So
you know what I like to say? If it's free, give me three.
Yeah, I'll take this test more than once. Make sure that the results are accurate. So, um, going to the last and the newest and the most important, in my opinion. Again, this is my opinion that I deem this as the most important. This is the crisis help hotline. So again, this is one of those like 311, 411 situations. But people don't know is that this program you can also text, um, and it's a 24-hour support program, and you are greeted by professionals, and you receive immediate crisis care. So again, that number is 988. Um, I believe this one became really popular and created when that I forget the guy's name, the rapper, but he made that suicide song like the 1-800
Logic.
Logic. Yeah. Um, when he created that song, they actually created this like more simple number. So again, that number is 988, and um, again, I deem this one the most important because it took them so long to create it. You know, it took a song, it took a movement, it took people kind of waking up extremely late to the party, and we may have lost a lot of people to get it, but for us to get it is a win. For us to get it is kind of it's a big bonus for us.
Absolutely.
That. So those are to wrap it up. That was the last one on my list, and again, the most important, in my opinion. Um, if you find yourself again wanting this in PDF form, if you find yourself wanting this in email to you, I have computer access, so I can get you that as soon as you ask for it. Um, so those resources are available to you. They are Chicagoland based, and they are. I'm sorry, I'm pulling this up real quick. They are out there. Is what I'm trying to say. This isn't something you have to go look for. This isn't something that you have to do research on now because me and Zach just provided it to you. So we provided it to you. We provided you with these resources. So thank you guys for all the TikTok gifts as well. I'm seeing those funnel in now. I'm not sure what they mean, but they're really cool little icons that keep popping up here. So Busy, I appreciate you, brother. I'm not sure if they like our money or whatnot, but I appreciate whatever you're doing or donating. And
Dame mi dinero.
something they're doing something down there, man. And that that shit was cool as hell. So it's a little chain icon that keeps popping up. So Busy, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for donating. And anything that is donated to me through TikTok or whatever I make through monetization through TikTok Live, Facebook Live, will be all donated. Something that I'm really interested in doing in the future, and it's kind of just an idea that's been on my mind for a long time, is I want to create like a fund almost, for fathers who may be going through custody battles and may be going through situations with their kids, and can't afford lawyers. There's lawyers who do it for free. There's lawyers that do it out there, but I want to make sure that in the future, if I could, whether it's through merch or whether it's through just kindness of heart donations, kind of create like a fund, and have fathers reach out to us, and we can kind of verify the information and kind of give them funding for their custody battles. Make sure that they actually have good lawyers who are going to be attentive to their case and be individualized to them. So
And if
that's
there's lawyers, any good lawyers like that in the chat, you know, definitely
definitely,
make yourself known too, and just be on, I don't know, standby.
if you do like pro bono work and things like that, and
Yeah,
it's something you want to collab on, if I have any lawyers who are listening right now, that's something that I really, really want to. That's really something I really, really want to touch on. Because there's a lot of fathers who are going through custody battles, and a lot of fathers who are fighting for rights, and they're giving some bullshit public attorney who has 100 cases that he has to worry about, and you seeing your kid isn't on his priority list. You know, it may be a sad statement, but it is the truth.
while still working their butts off to pay for previous engagements. You know, it's
child support, feeding the kid still. Imagine
exactly,
paying to feed a child you can't see, you know? Yeah, it's your obligation, but man, that shit sucks. You know, because
absolutely.
why would you have to pay for something when you can provide that at your home for that child, you know? So that's neither here or there, but that is a goal of mine. If I could get that fund up and running, kind of create like a big pot and allow people to donate to it. So that's something that is in my near future, hopefully.
It's a great idea, man. I love that for real.
So, and again, the reason that I wanted to provide this resource list and I wanted to provide this for people was because of kind of like a recent thing I went through personally. Um, as many of you guys know, I did get real sick last year. I did have heart failure, and I'm kind of at the back end of that, and I was able to have some people who were on my side, but it wasn't an easy journey. So now that I did go through all that and I did experience all that, there is some mental health side effects to it. I wasn't myself for a very long time, and a lot of that stuff was kind of bottled in and kept in. So now I spoke on it last week. I am now on my fifth session of therapy. Um, so that was a huge jump for me. That was a huge jump into this, and I'm happy I did it. It's honestly one of the best things and
Oh yeah,
best decisions I made in my life. To talk to someone who doesn't have an opinion and personally just can't have an opinion because they don't know. They only know as far as you share with them. So um, again, if you're looking for a reason to take that jump, I can tell you now that hey, therapy was one of the best things I've ever done. Um, After those sessions and after that time, and I spent speaking to them. Like I started off bi-weekly, and I realized quickly, like, hey, I need this more than once. I need this more um, than one session. So now that I have been actively in therapy, and um, now that I've been actively speaking out and kind of digging more deep into men's mental health, and kind of realizing that hey, a lot of these things that I've been going through, I'm not the only one. You know, and that's another reason that we're here today. It's another reason that this whole podcasting is going the way that it's going, and it's why I picked this subject to kind of go with. Because again, to feel like you to feel like you aren't enough, to feel like hey, you you're not enough, to feel like you're alone, to feel sad, to feel empty sometimes. To laugh more than you cry. There's a lot of things. Um, so I'm happy that I was able to get out there personally. I was able to make that jump, and I'm also happy that other people were motivating me to do so. There was people in my life who were pushing me. My wife was one of them. She was by my side the whole time I was sick, and took care of me daily. The nights that I was up crying and the nights that I couldn't sleep, she was up with me. She was taking care of me. The nights that I couldn't breathe, she was giving me my asthma treatments, and she was giving me all my medications, making sure like, hey, you got what you need. So to her, I'm forever appreciative. She forever has my heart. Um, and again, to my boy Jose, who kind of pushed me into therapy and was kind of telling me for like, hey, a whole year, like, man, you're not you. This isn't you. This isn't the person you usually are. So for Jose, man, I truly appreciate you as well, and thank you to everyone around me who kind of funneled in and gave me support when I made them aware of my situation because I kept it a secret for so long. Zach, you being one of them as well. Um, Again, this isn't. I'm not sharing for because I want sympathy. I'm sharing because I want you guys to know, like, hey, once I did take that step into therapy, And once I did take that step into finding out what resources were out there, I was better, and I'm still doing better. And I'm a far, far, far away from perfect, but there's still that. There's still a lot of room to grow, and there's still a lot of room to change for myself for the better. And there's still a lot of room for me to recognize when I'm not okay.
One day at a time, man. And congratulations. I love that for you, man. For real. Keep getting better. I mean, you've already, honestly, man, from my perspective, from knowing you for the past 5 years, 6 years, you know what I mean? Like one of the funniest, one of the best, down to earth, well hearted people that I've known. So for you to even still trying to improve, that's amazing. And I mean, from my perspective, like reaching out, that's as a friend, man, that's all you can do. Like I said earlier, man, just try and be there. Whatever, like I said, whatever you need, but at the end of the day, you gotta let that person, like you yourself, you gotta let them figure out how they need to be healed first before they can let other people be there for them. So I love everything for you, man.
Definitely, definitely, and taking it one day at a time is huge. Because for me, I'm different. Like whenever I have a goal, it's kind of like I have that mentality, or it's like I need to hit it expeditiously. Like this needs to be a priority for me. Like there's no reason my goal should wait. And so that whole man, take it a day at a time for me is fucking huge because that's one of the hardest things in my mental battle. Is learning that patience and learning that not everything needs to come immediately. You know, so
I like to, like, I know there's levels of anxiety and, life not being the way we expected and things like that, but I like to tell myself something every day, you know what I mean? Just as long as I'm better than yesterday, do something that makes you better than the day before. You can't make 10 steps in one move. Just be better every day.
yeah, and as long as you feel like hey, you're making that headway, as long as you feel like hey, you're doing better for you, then that's already a win. That's already a bonus. Um, that's already a plus in the column. So again, like hey, and even use that if you feel like hey, you need somebody to talk to, or you feel like hey, you have a question about fatherhood, or you're running into like hey, like fuck, I can't keep this diaper to stay on. How do I do it? There's doctors out there, who
I'm
have.
definitely, I'm definitely starting to get there, man. So thank you, man. I'm definitely starting to get there at some points.
I'm still there every day. Um, right now, like even at home, we're dealing with Mark going to school next month. I don't even know how to process this shit. It's
I know you're gonna be crying at the bus stop.
I know, and I'm the one that has to drop him off too. So it's first.
But hey, man, like you said, like you touched up on with your girl too. Like that's sorry, God, just a little bit. That's a huge thing, man. Having that strong partner, and you know, you guys as a couple too. Uh, I've never, I mean, I know you guys are good about keeping whatever you want to keep behind closed doors, but I've never seen a flaw, and that's huge. That it starts there, man. And like I said before, like with finding someone that you can talk to, that can very much well be your partner. Doesn't always have to be a friend. That sometimes that can be the person that you spend every day with.
100%. And again, this shit right here is huge. Like us being able to take this step and us kind of being able to say like we did something good today. We touched a lot of people today. We had a lot of reach today. A lot of people came on here and shared their stories with us today. So for everyone who came on and shared, and everyone who was active in the chat, to everyone who gifted on TikTok and is currently liking the stream, just so you know, Zach, we're up to like 4,000 likes on TikTok, as well as a whole lot of fucking donations.
A lot of
So
brothers.
yeah, yeah. So definitely appreciate everyone on TikTok. Thank you guys for coming on to the TikTok and sharing and liking the chat. Um, yeah, 3.6 likes, 3.8 likes is fucking crazy. 1,000. So
That's
I
awesome,
appreciate you
man.
guys for the first stream going so damn well. So something I want to get into for these next upcoming episodes. Again, I have 10 of these episodes already pre-slated and kind of pre-organized, and I'm reaching out to people individually, kind of seeing where their heads at, kind of seeing where, like if there's a topic or something like that they specifically want to touch on. Um, so we're gonna have some guests come through here. I think it's gonna end up being like a rare situation where I am alone in this, because again, we all need help with what we do. And again, Zach provided some amazing insights today. I had Giuseppe last week; he provided some great insights. So again, I feel like each guest is kind of going to have their own unique take and their own unique story. But something that I want from my viewers, and something that I want for the men who have interacted today, if you have a story or if you have a situation that, hey, you would like to come on here and share, or if you have a story that, hey, I don't feel comfortable talking about it, but I don't mind sending it to you. Um, I'm more than happy to go through that, because, again, that 10th and final episode isn't the end of this podcast by any means, but it is. It's going to be a cornerstone, and that one's kind of like a live Q&A. So I want to start building up stories and kind of building up to that grand finale of this series. So if you have a story or you have a situation that you went through, or you want some insight, please DM me, reach out to me, let me know. If there's a topic that you'd like me to specifically talk on, or there's something that you feel resonates with you deeply, by all means, you let me know. And kind of as we get to the end stage of this, because we are slated for an hour for these sessions and we're just over at this point, which is okay as well. The next topic for this upcoming week is titled um, Fatherhoods and the Pressures of Fatherhoods. Whether you had a dad, are a dad, or are figuring out how to be a dad, that this kind of episode is for you. So if you have the goal to be a father, or you currently are a father, I feel like this next upcoming session is kind of going to be a session for you, because as a young father myself, I have two children. I have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old. Don't ask me their birthdays, because I don't know that shit. But I got them. They're mine.
You're
So,
stupid.
hey, man, that's a true story. I don't even know Megan's birthday. It's been 10
Hey,
years.
it's written down somewhere.
It's going to be a tattoo at some point, because Phil just look at me, man. That's fucking crazy. I can tell you the day, but the year, I'd be looking crazy in that line.
That's hilarious.
I know I'd be looking crazy when those nurses like are checking you in and they're like, "Hey, when's your birthday?" And I'm like 4 years old.
Motherfucking
I have to tell them once, I'm like, "Yo, me and bro have the same name. I don't know what more you want." Like, it was
literally mini me.
like literally, bro's name is just Junior. Like mine's a senior. I'm not sure why you don't remember his birthday. Like
That's hilarious.
I pay for this shit. Like let me know that.
That's too funny, dude.
But to kind of recap and wrap it up. Again, something I'm going to end with every time. You are not alone, and there is help out there for you. Um, whether it's me, whether it's Zach, whether it's somebody, there is help out there for you. There is resources out for you. So if you are interested in that resource list and you are interested in what we talked about today, by all means, reach out to me. I'll send you the PDF version. I can copy and paste shit for you if that's easier. Um, and again, from Mark and Zach, we're out, man. See you guys next week.
Love, brother.